So we've got the four fun lights here. The brake ABS, ESP, and then the little traction control light going on. And the ESP button here doesn't do anything. I already replaced two wheel speed sensors. I probed the front and rear sensors. The front ones were fine. The rear ones actually weren't any good. So they tested bad. I replaced both of them, and we still didn't have an improvement. Never had an issue with the speed reading incorrectly or anything like that, but obviously our brake and traction control aren't working. So the next step, I went ahead and took it to the dealer and just had them put it on the scanner, and they told me that the ABS module was bad and they wanted $1,200. So I ordered a new part online. I'll put the part number in the description, and I'm going to show you how to swap out that ABS module today. The first thing you're going to do is take your Dodge or Chrysler and get rid of it. If you can't do that, then you need to grab a 10mm socket or wrench and disconnect the negative battery terminal here. That is really important on this vehicle specifically because some stuff can get messed up if you don't do that. So remove that, and then your ABS module is right down here. It only has 4 fasteners, 1, 2, and then 3 and 4 that you can't see. On the right hand side there's a connector underneath this wire here. You need to remove that electrical connector, and then you're going to need a T20 Torx tool. You can either use one like this, it'll take you a little bit longer, or if you have a bit, this can work, but it's not going to give you a really good bite, so you might want to stay away from this method. Ideally you want at least a 3-inch long T20 Torx driver. So what happens is when you're using this tool, you can't get a perfectly straight bite on it because of how thin this area is right here. You really need something a little bit thinner. So what you can do is, if you only have these, you can put this in with the long side here, and then to get a little bit more leverage, you can use a small socket with a 1/4-inch extension, and you can slide it over this shorter angled in here, so you can turn that. So we need to go ahead and disconnect the battery cable and take out those 4 fasteners. All right. Went ahead and removed the battery, but you don't have to do that. I just did it for a little bit more clearance since I'm making a video here. Make it a little bit easier for me. This van has 68,000 miles on it, and it's in central Texas, so we don't have to worry about rust or anything. But I could maybe see these being an issue if you live in a really rusty place. It looks like these screws are stainless, and they're going into an aluminum block, so I don't know, it shouldn't be too bad. Well, you can't exactly see what I'm doing. I'm just pushing this in here from the bottom until it goes into place, and then take this socket here and slide it over the end of the wrench like that. Just gives you a little bit more leverage. These things are not tight at all. Just kind of crack them loose, and then I can spin it by hand until after I take that socket off. I couldn't quite see the back of this connector, and I don't want to break anything, so I decided to go ahead and remove the ABS module first, and then try to get that connector off there. There shouldn't, as far as I know, on other ABS modules, there shouldn't be any fluid in here. So if you can get to these screws on whatever vehicle you're working on without removing the entire ABS pump and unit here, then you shouldn't have to bleed your brakes. Alright, let's go ahead and wiggle this thing loose here. Alright, so there is our ABS module taken off, and we can kind of see the plug now. It looks like there are two ears, maybe one here and one on the other side. I'm going to pinch them and lift up like this, and that should remove our plug there. Now we can take this old ABS module out the top. There we go. So there are dust seals on each one of these circles, and my ABS module was bought. It's an actual Mopar part, and it came with all new seals. So we'll probably go ahead and blow off this block here. Probably would have been a good idea to do it beforehand, because you can see there's a little bit of dust on the top of each one of these little seals. So I'll do that now, and then we'll make sure everything is cleaned up really nice, and we'll get the new unit on there. Here's the part number for my vehicle. It is equipped with the 4.0 V6, and some of the part numbers are a little bit different, so it's depending on what trim package your van has. I think there are 2 different or 3 different part numbers. So here's the new module on the bottom and the old one up here. They have all the exact same markings on them. This one here, the lettering is a little bit different, but everything else is the same. The new one did also come with all new seals and hardware, so we're going to take off all the old seals and note the orientation that they come off. I think these seals look like they're reversible, they don't look different, but just make sure when you put them back on, if they look different on your pump, you put them back on the right way. All these seals look to be in good shape, and they look like they are 100% reversible, so shouldn't have any issues getting these new ones on. I'm just using a little pick here to take them. Alright, we've got all of our little seals out. We'll go ahead and put the new ones in and then get this thing bolted up. I'm going to go ahead and plug this back in before I put the module back in completely, just because it's easier. Make sure that thing is plugged in well and not going to open up on us. Alright, and we will use the new fasteners, because why not, even though mine didn't have anything wrong with them. New ABS module is in. Use the new hardware, put the battery back in. We will go ahead and crank it up here. Now, when you use a used ABS module, you're going to have to go to the dealer and get everything reflashed. So if you're using an ABS module that is brand new, what you can do is drive, I think it's around 100 miles, and everything will relearn and all your lights should go off. So that is pretty much it. It is a really easy process on these vans. I know the Jeeps have similar issues, and those are a little bit more difficult. Sometimes you have to remove the whole pump to be able to get to all those bolts. So that is it. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. Thanks for watching.